Hello, this is Joe83. This is episode 8 of my Salvaging Sauber Career Mode, and we are in the Austrian Grand Prix after last time out in Baku, which didn't end very well for me with the very worn engine parts. We have gone for the upgrade on the car, which is a durability upgrade, which is very handy as my engine parts are not looking very good at the minute. It's a internal combustion engine wear 1, so that should be hopefully useful. And now on to practice, and I'm looking to get all of the scores in the program. And Austria is probably my favourite track on the circuit, on the calendar rather, in terms of my own pace. It's a decent track, I think. Probably I prefer to drive Silverstone and Spa, but this one I very much enjoy as well. So unfortunately on track consolidation I only get a green score because there's so few corners that you get green on a few and then you're basically screwed. But yeah, unfortunate there. Now onto the fuel economy one, and it looks like if we don't mess it up, it's going to be a green score and within the delta, so another 30 resource points there, which is very handy. And then onto the next test, which is the race strategy test, and Ocon's actually ruined it for me by overtaking me and losing me loads of time. So I'm going to try and switch back in. I'm going to lose this lap to the delta anyway. I've actually whacked the curb massively, lost the back end. Are we going to? No, we're not going to keep it out of him. And that's that test over. I could only get the 30 points there, unfortunately. Now onto the tyre wear test, and it looks like it might be on for a purple here if I manage to save a few more tyres through the final corner. And we're well up on the delta, so I've got time to spare. And we are right on the edge. Can we make it into the purple? Or just about, it looks like. And yes, we do make it into the purple zone. And that's going to be 50 resource points. That's a very nice low tyre wear there for this Sauber, which is still appalling to drive. I've not got many upgrades on it, but a few more, so we're a bit more competitive compared to Honda now. Compared to McLaren, sorry, so hopefully that'll help. And now onto the quali sim, and we're just about a 10th up on the delta, and that's going to be a green score. Is that a purple score? I don't know, maybe. And that is going to be some resource points anyway, whatever it gives me, to be honest. But now up to 719 resource points. That's not enough for any major upgrades, so I'm going to save it for the time being. Maybe get one at the end of the weekend if we get some more. But we're going to look at the engine parts, I think, and we don't have enough points to do any upgrades. But my engine parts, I just used the old engine for the practice, and now we're going to switch it up to a new component for the MG UK, and the 76% turbocharger should be alright, as it only makes you lose rich mix, which I'm not too bothered about really. And I want to qualifying list for overcast, and I might see a bit of rain potentially, but it's going to be dry for Q1, which is probably as far as I'm going to go, as this Sauber limits me an awful lot. But this is my second lap in qualifying. My first one puts me ahead of Verline, but not ahead of either the McLarens of Van Dorn and Alonso. And the second lap is going to be 5/10 improvement, but it's still a 10 dead, and I'm still behind Van Dorn. And now later in the session, Verline's overtaken me as well. This is my third lap on a new set of Ultra Softs, and we're going to be improved by another 5/10 actually. So a lot of time to find in this session, and it's going to be a 9.6, and that improves us ahead of Van Dorn and Verline actually. So now at the end of the session we're improving by not very much, but it's going to be a small minor improvement. At the end of the session now, the checker flag has fallen. It's going to be a 9.3, and that actually leaves me in 19th in the end, I think, because Van Dorn managed to improve. But the two McLarens, the two Saubers, and Kevin Magnussen actually knocked out Q1. Alonso got himself ahead of Magnussen, so that was very impressive there. But let's go straight onto the grid for the race then. And it's going to be a Mercedes on pole, Valtteri Bottas, with Kimi Raikkonen in second place, and I'll leave Crofty to take down the rest of the order.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Ricciardo, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Massa, and Esteban Ocon, Grosjean, Perez, Carlos Sainz, and Kvyat, Palmer, Magnussen, Stoffel, Van Dorn, and the Sauber, Verline, and Fernando Alonso starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So race strategy, and it's actually going to rain right at the end of the race, so I'm looking to just go on softs and see how far I can stretch them, because if I can get into the rain that should give me a big advantage, hopefully. And we're going to go start on soft, see how long I can go. Hopefully we can get to that little rain period at the end of the race, and yeah, let's see how this goes then. It's quite aggressive strategy on the formation lap, coming back around to the grid now. And we actually got promoted to 18th because Alonso had a penalty, so it's Verline behind me with Alonso behind him, and Alonso is normally a fast starter, so he's going to be one to watch out for. And can we get a decent start now on the 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix are coming on now from 18th place on the grid into Sauber, and it's lights out and away we go. It looks like a decent start compared to Magnussen. Verline's got an unbelievable start. He's going to go around the outside of Van Dorn. What a start from Pascal Verline on his Ultra Softs. He's going to go around the outside of Magnussen as well. I'm going to lunge it up the inside, very late braking, almost by accident there. And we're right behind the two Toro Rosso, the Sainz and Kvyat now ahead of Perez, and I think one of the other Haas cars of Kevin Magnussen as well. So can we make an attempt on Carlos Sainz into turn 2 now? and it's a very, very close stuff in the midfield here, but kind of take advantage and go up the inside of the pair of the Toro Rossos, and we're just about ahead of the pair of them, but Hulkenberg and Grosjean on the side by side ahead of me. Kvyat's held it around the outside, he's got that position back into 12th, but up into 13th place, and now Sainz is going to be right behind me. Here he is from the rear camera, and Sainz is going to go to the inside, looks like, and he's going to pressure me into turn 3, and he goes up the inside. I actually think he dive bombed Kvyat as well. It's 3 wide with the 2 Toro Rossos and myself in the middle, and Sainz has taken the advantage, and we've both overtaken Kvyat, the Russian. And I'm still at the inside of Carlos Sainz though, into turn 4 and 5, and it's going to be side by side, very close stuff here, and I've just about seen him off for the time being. Sainz still side by side, the Spaniard in the Toro Rosso going right around the outside. It's going to be a great racing between myself and Carlos Sainz, and he's just going to have the legs on me, I think, on his ultra soft tyres. He's going to just about get the advantage, and here comes Kvyat. He's trying at the inside as well. I'm going to try and hold it right around the outside maybe, but Carlos Sainz just about has the extra grip and performance from the tyres and the car to holding off for the time being, and Sainz takes that position into 12th place. So 13th from 18th on the grid is not a bad start at all, especially for lap 1 around Austria, which is a very short lap. But can we pressurise Sainz again into turn 1, and we make a little bit of contact but no damage done. But now Perez is right behind with his Mercedes engine. He's going to go up around the outside, looks like, down the straight. He's going to have a big advantage compared to this 2016 Ferrari engine. The engine is one of the things I'm looking to improve soon on this Sauber, as it's not very good at all. But Perez goes right around the outside, but we just about try and force him out, and we hold that position in 13th place for the time being, with Carlos Sainz up ahead, already starting to form a little bit of a gap. So yeah, this is going to be a difficult race, I think, already, just judging by the first lap and a half. But now Perez is up the inside, and it's going to be side by side. I try and pinch on the apex, but he's going to hold it there, the Mexican. Can he hold it still up the inside of turn 3? And it's going to be side by side stuff through the next corner once again, as we did the previous lap. And we're wheel banging with Perez, try and force him out wide, and we just about have the inside line and the advantage into turn 4 and 5. And we have gained that position up into 13th place again. But you can see my turbocharger is already hampering the engine, but Perez is up the inside on the end of lap 3. And he's taking that position. I'm trying to do a switchback, but then Perez just parks it, blocks me completely, and that is unfortunate because it means I couldn't get a good exit. And Perez has got that position now. Magnus is going to go on the outside as well. Kevin Magnussen in the Haas car. And it's going to be wheel-to-wheel stuff with Kevin Magnussen. Can we go up the inside, dive bomb it? And yes, we do, just about. It's going to be wheel-to-wheel with the Dane though, and we try and force him over the curb, but he's holding it there, but no, he has to back out, and that is another position retained in 14th. But you can already see on the minimap how far ahead Carlos Sainz is after just 2 laps of battling me. But now Magnussen's back up the inside, and it's going to be, he's locked up, he's blocked me completely, he locked up his front left there, and that's actually allowed him to get ahead of me, which is a bit annoying because I couldn't do a switchback or anything. But you can see my turbocharger is already over 80%. And that might become an issue later in the race, but all my other parts are looking pretty good, so that's a nice little thing to note there. But 15th place, points I'd say are pretty much impossible unless something mental happens in this race, but we can always hope. And Kvyat now is up the inside, and looks like he's going to overtake me as well into the penultimate corner, and he's gone straight past. There's no point trying to do a switchback or anything, it's just not going to happen. Can we get a good exit though out the final corner, and maybe pressure into turn 1 with the DRS, because he won't be close enough to Magnussen for the DRS luckily, and yes he isn't, and we're going to get DRS into the slipstream of the Russian in the Toro Rosso. And can we go up the inside into turn 1? It's a little bit of a lunge, but Kvyat is just side by side. We've forced him over the curb, but he's got a good exit. It's still side by side stuff. Palmer's right behind as well in his Renault. It's going to visit side by side with Palmer. Can we get in the slipstream and Kvyat and make a move into turn 2? Palmer's up the outside, but Kvyat's just there. Can we lunge it up the inside? Verline's coming up the inside as well. It's 3 wide. Pascal Verline trying to take advantage. Kvyat's locked up and gone wide. Palmer's had to been blocked off by Kvyat there as well. Verline is now side by side with me. The 2 Saubers having a battle, myself and Pascal. And he's on the ultra soft, so I don't really want to hold him up too much because, yeah, it's best for the team if he goes through, as he's got 2 compounds difference. I'm still going to try and hold it out outside. I'm not really hampering him in terms of time too much, but he's just got the better grip. We've obviously got equal cars, but the grip provided by the ultra soft is really going to help him out, and that is another position gain for Verline. Up into 15th, I've actually done a little hop over the yellow sausage curbs there, which wasn't very helpful. But now Palmer is going to pressurise me, and we're trying to stop him. Oh, very, very big contact. I was trying to close the gap. Palmer just forced his way through anyway. Decent move there from Palmer which is quite surprising to say, but we've done a lunge up the inside, and we've just about held that position into 16th, but Palmer's still alongside me, and it's going to be side by side with the Brit in the Renault, who shouldn't be in F1 in my opinion, but never mind, we're going to go up the inside of turn 3, lunge it, and Palmer's locked up as well, I think, and Kvyat's going to take that position, and that is another position retained, 16th place, but you can already see just how far ahead. Verline's made 5 seconds on me already, and that's just the difference of tyres and my pace at the minute, and maybe my turbocharger, which isn't really helping. But Kvyat tries to go up the inside. We hold it around the outside of turn 1, but we try and pressurise, and a little bit of contact. A bit of Toro Rosso flew off in the distance there. Now Palmer and Kvyat are side by side. Palmer's going to try up the outside of me as well, and Kvyat's going to make it 3 wide almost. Is it going to be 3 wide? We lock up the front right and force Palmer wide, and just about hold it from Kvyat on the inside as well. And that is the we've only got them two and the 2 McLarens behind me now, which isn't very good stuff. But still, the Sauber, that's kind of what we expect. But with Palmer's going up the inside, he's got much better speed there, and that is just impossible to stop really. But unless we can hold it right around the outside, it's going to be close stuff with Jolly and Palmer, but he's just about got that position, it looks like. But we will have DRS down to turn 1. Can we make anything happen here? And it looks like Palmer's got a very good exit, and Kvyat's also going to go straight past me. These soft tyres are really not providing me much performance at all. There's a few cars in the pits actually. There was Hulkenberg, who just was in the box there, and that sort of shows how far ahead. He was 10th place, where we saw on lap 1 anyway. So that's the points, but effectively have already got a pit stop advantage over me, which is unfortunate. But now Hulkenberg's right behind after Magnussen, and Palmer and Kvyat all got past me, which wasn't very good. But Hulkenberg's going up the inside, and there's not really much point holding off. He's on fresh super softs with a much better car, and it's just frustrating at this point with this Sauber really not helping me out at all. I maybe made the wrong choice going on soft for the first stint, but the Romain Grosjean's now at the race. I don't know quite where he was on the track, but he's obviously ahead of me because I've only got the McLarens behind me. But Alonso, talking about McLarens, is going to go up the inside, and he's actually taken that position, so I've been shown up by a McLaren down a straight. That's just how bad my race is going. We will have DRS though. I'm on the Honda-powered McLaren. The power of dreams, as we all know, but unfortunately it's not going to happen into that first corner, and Alonso is actually just run away from me. But now Ocon's up the inside. I almost closed that gap there, but he forced his nose in, and we're just going to pretty much let him through. But we actually make a bit of contact. Can we hold him off? It's going to be side by side through the middle sector once again, and now crossing into the final sector. And Ocon, very nice move around the outside there, and that was decent by him. I'll give him that. And down to 18th, but yeah, this is kind of what we expect sometimes with the Sauber. It is the worst car on the grid still, so unless I get a bit lucky, then it's not going to happen in any race. But Verline's now pitted and overtaking me again. That's just how bad my race is going. I'm normally better than Verline, but this race just hasn't gone my way so far, and I'd be surprised if it does unless the rain comes like now. But my tyres are also giving up a little bit, but now onto lap 18, and Palmer has pitted as well onto ultra soft to come out, and he's overtaken me again. So yeah, Palmer's got a pit stop lead over me after we were battling about 5 laps ago, so that's not gone very well in my favour. But my tyres are really not providing me with much grip at all. And onto lap 21, you can see that the rain is almost starting to come down. The clouds have got very dark, and our Kvyat has also made a pit stop. He's battling me once again, and it seems like we've been glued to Toro Rosso this race. But Kvyat is still up me inside. I'm trying to close that gap. We're also getting blue flags. That's going to compromise things a little bit. But Kvyat is going to go up me inside. Can we hold him off just about? It looks like it's going to be difficult. Van Dorn's up the inside as well. The McLaren actually may try and make an overtake on a straight. Unprecedented scenes here. Kvyat has gone right into the inside. We've got a good switchback line there actually, and we're going to try up the inside of turn 3 into the slipstream of Danny Kvyat, and we've got a Mercedes car behind me, I believe, of Lewis Hamilton trying to overtake me. But we're going to dive on Kvyat. He's locked up actually. Both of us have locked up massively, and that has allowed Kvyat to drop behind me once again. But also we had to let through Lewis Hamilton, who was leading the race, and now Vettel has gone past as well as Kimi Raikkonen. So Hamilton is looking set for a first win here actually, which would be pretty nice for him. But my tyre is really not doing very well. But Kvyat is trying to go right around the outside again. And is he going to make it stick this time? And it's side by side. As we went with Carlos Sainz in the race, Kvyat hops over those yellow sausage curbs I was talking about earlier, but then completely runs around the outside, and that is a decent move, as Ocon did to me. And yeah, that's not very helpful. But now my tyre, the next lap, is on 87%, and I'm gonna pit, I think, because this can't go much further. And Ricciardo has lapped me as well now, and I'm gonna pit, and it's going to be a set of intermediates for this for the stint now. And you could just about see some rain happening, but it needs to come down a bit quickly. It's a bit of a gamble, I'll admit, but I can't afford to make a pit stop onto dries just to make another pit stop like 2 or 3 laps later. I'm just going to go on to inters now. You can see Mercedes are ready for a stop with a set of super softs there, so that doesn't bode well for me that Mercedes are going on super softs and I'm going on to intermediates. But yeah, it's a bit of a risk, I'll admit, and we're going to go for it, see what happens. I've bottled the pit exit, as I usually do at this point, but we're now into stone dead last, apart from Romain Grosjean, who was obviously retired from the race, through the pit exit, and yeah, grip is at a premium, and it's not a premium that I'm accustomed to because I can't have it apparently, but the rain is coming down. There's hope still, but my tyres are already 2% worn. That's just from the wheel spin out the pits, which sort of says it all. But as you can probably guess, this didn't go very well for me, and yeah, intermediates maybe not the best decision, I'll admit. And yeah, we got a few more blue flag cars. Who is this going past now? It is a Force India of Sergio Perez, and the team have already told me to come back onto Ultrasoft, so that's not gone very well at all. but you can just see how far Perez is gapping me already. And now through the next corner we've got massive oversteer, and we're going to keep it out of the barrier just about, I think, but we have had to slide across the grass, and then I've just got no turning. This really isn't going very well. I've had to go into the gravel a little bit, and yeah, I am just like a Bambi just being born at this point, to be honest. And on the next lap, lap 26, another car's lapping me. I don't know who this is, but I believe it is another Force India. It might be a Renault, actually. Oh, and it's a Toro Rosso, good one. And I've lost it into the barrier, and I've lost my front wing, and that kind of signalled the end of my participation in this race. I just thought at this point, I'm clearly not going to get any result at all. There's no chance I'm beating anyone, and I'm just going to save the engine. Obviously, we've had a few issues with the engine parts, and you can see on the right hand side they're not actually that worn at the minute, apart from the turbocharger, which will be getting replaced for next race anyway. So for that reason, I'm going to box this lap and retire the car. It's a little bit of a shame because Austria, as I said, is one of my favourite tracks, but yeah, it's just not gone my way at all, and the rain really came at the wrong time for me to try and stretch those softs out, and unfortunately that's just the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles, and yeah, we're going to have to retire the car and pull into the pits, and that's the end of my race, unfortunately. And we're going to come 19th place. Well, we're not going to finish at all, but 19th is where we'll be classified, as Grosjean obviously retired earlier in the race, but that is unfortunate. And we'll be able to see who wins the race now, and it is actually Kimi Raikkonen once again. I don't know where he came from, he was not winning earlier, but Hamilton's ended up third, with Raikkonen leading home a Ferrari 1-2 with Sebastian Vettel second. So still, after 9 rounds, 8 of them have been won by Finns. Bottas, I think, has won 4, and Raikkonen's won 4, and then Vettel's got 1. So it's a good year to be a Finland driver or fan, because they're just absolutely smashing everyone at the minute. So Kimi Raikkonen wins once again, Ferrari 1-2 around Austria, and Hamilton on the podium as well. And the points then: Ricciardo 4th at the home Grand Prix for Red Bull, Bottas, Verstappen, Perez, Massa, Stroll, and Esteban Ocon rounding out the points. So Verline doing a decent job in 14th there, good result for the team, and ahead of a few of the midfield runners, which is very nice to see. For some reason he said he's only did 1 stop, but we saw him on softs, so I'm not sure about that. But let's look at the standings quickly, and I'm 12th place still, not dropped a position after that good haul of points earlier in the season at Canada and China, getting me those 10 points so far. Verline's still 19th ahead of Van Dorn, so that's decent. We're still 9th in the championship, and that is going to be pretty much everything then. But onto the weekend review sort of thing. Results points are still I don't have quite enough to get anything good on the upgrades, and the rivalry, I'm getting smashed on Magnussen, and everyone hates me still. I don't know what this is, but everyone seems to hate me, but that is a bit annoying. But now I've got a new contract actually, and we're going to be promoted to first driver, so that's very nice indeed. And Emma here is going to give me a new contract. It's a bit of an odd time to get my first driver role, seeing as I just had the worst weekend of my career. But that is going to be the end of the video then. I hope you did enjoy. Leave a like if you did, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Go and check out the rest of the episodes of the series. This has been J83, and I will see you next time.